I had so many video ideas for how I was going to make the big announcement that the babe bus was back from the electrician and throw open the doors and show you all the amazing stuff that we added. And the great news is that after 3 weeks of being at the electrician, she is finally home, which feels like picking up my lost dog at the animal shelter. I was like, is she going to still recognize me? So I'm thrilled that she is back home. The bad news, the actually really sad news, is that there was a huge list, well, not a huge list, but a pretty extensive list of all the things that had to be wired and done to the van, from lights to camera charging stations to blah, 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 blah. And of that list, I think about 2 or 3 things are completed, and the rest of it is pretty much the van that I dropped off. And the last thing that I want to do right now is shoot a YouTube video, because what I really want to do is go set things on fire because I'm so upset and frustrated. I spent most of last night when I was picking her up trying not to angry cry in front of grown men. I don't know what happened. Anyway, but I'm going to shoot this and show you what I have and ask for some advice on certain things, because I just think that so many of these YouTube videos about van conversions are, you'll see you'll see some cute couple and she's standing there in a bikini at their little kitchen with side boob hanging out, cutting a low emission avocado, and they're selling you an idea, like an aspirational idea of what doing this is like, and then the poor guy who's actually doing the real work and technical work and doing these videos about how to actually convert a van gets like no views, right? Because everyone wants to see side boob. Reference, there will be no side boob videos in the babe bus. So let's start with the good news, shall we? And this I'm actually really grateful to have. This is shore power. Okay. So this plug will allow me to connect to someone's house, and that is a great thing to have because I don't always want to use the generator. I got a Honda inverter generator. I'm going to do that in a separate video because I don't have enough mood stabilizers right now to get me through today, so you're just going to have to wait on that. But here is the good news. The good news is that I now have a fuse box, and back here in the back of the van, right here. All right, this is where I was going to kind of like my workstation, not so much like editing work, but just charging things and, kind of plugging in the not very aesthetic devices that I have. And so I have a 4-plug panel and I have a fuse box, and that is great. That's great. Oh, and he also made me this. Okay. That is a custom plug so that I can plug my van, specifically my plug, into a household. And I'm really excited about that. I want shore power. It was important to me. If I stay in an RV park, which I probably won't do a whole lot, I'll be able to plug in right there. Wonderful. Here's kind of where we're at with everything else. And of course it's starting to rain, so I'm going to speed this up if I can. But essentially, it's pretty much the van that I dropped off. Now I didn't hire him to do any of the carpentry stuff, so that was not an expectation. But at this point, the AC system is still not attached. He said that it was installed incorrectly, and I'm not an AC technician, so I don't know if that's true or not. I was here when it was installed. I thought it was installed correctly. He did tell me that if I can call Coleman, which is the brand, and get a couple things ironed out, we should be able to do it. But so there's no heat or AC in the van, and that's a huge get for me because I spent so much money on the damn thing. Alright, so I have more plugs here, right? And this is in the kitchen area, but I was really, really hoping, and I left that open so that he could run the conduit underneath the metal crown molding so I wouldn't have to see it. And I know that I made such a big deal that I did not want to run my wires behind the plywood, and I still stick to that. But so the bummer is that I have all this clunky conduit sticking out. Here's what I wanted to get your opinions on. Either I can paint it white and try to hide it, which is going to be hard to do, or I can embrace it and paint it like maybe the same color that I did the ceiling rose, or like maybe a copper color to match the pennies, and just make it kind of like a steampunk Victorian industrial look, and just make the conduit kind of part of the design. Ultimately, if ever I put upper cabinets in here, you won't see it. I was just hoping for our discussion that all the clunky conduit was either going to be run underneath the cabinets here. That was my neighbor. I have the nicest neighbors. Or was going to be run underneath the tiles, because there's all this space up here. But at this point, it's here. The plugs work. It's grounded. That's done great. So I do not have an AC, and I also don't have any lights, which I really wanted. There are no lights besides the one that came with the van. And we talked about it last night, and I had asked him to please wire to the alternator and set up some batteries. There's no batteries in here. He said that I couldn't wire anything to the alternator, and I don't remember why that was, because again, I was trying to hold back tears. So there are no lights, and I'm sorry, I'm getting really flustered. What I was hoping to get everyone's suggestion on in regards to lights is, do I hire someone else at this point and try to get lights engineered? Or do I just get battery-powered push lights that, yeah, it'll be a pain in the ass to keep changing out the battery, but ultimately, I won't have to rely on any wiring or any more work. They'll just put new batteries in, pop them on, done. And then what I could do, what I was thinking about last night when I wasn't sleeping, is I could take those like really thin wire lights and twist them around the conduit to almost make the conduit do double duty. So that's an option. But there's also no water pump installed, which we had talked about, so I'm not going to have a water pump in the van, I guess. I don't know what other, I guess I can get a foot pump. So no AC, no water pump, no lights. Yeah, that's where we are. Yeah, I'm really frustrated. But here's kind of what I wasn't sleeping last night and thinking about things I want to set on fire, like small kittens. I did not start this van conversion because I want to be a pro van converter, or because the idea or the reason why I was doing it was to convert a van. I got the van because I felt like it was the best way to carry me on my bigger mission, which is to take a break, well, because I lost my job, essentially, to take a break from running the rat race and to go see some of the country and to regroup before starting a new job and focus on my photography and focus on videos, and that was the mission, and I talked about all that a couple videos ago. The van was just the medium to carry me on that mission. At this point that I'm more than a month behind schedule, and now I'm going to have to shell out gobs and gobs of more money to get this finished, I think really I have to ask, like, is it so important that this thing is all decked out? Or do I just get on the road? Like, just, get what I need in here and get going. And I'm leaning more towards option B, which is just get the essentials in here and get on the road. Because every day that I'm here in the rain, in January, in North Carolina, I am not doing what I set out to do. I'm obsessing over what a van looks like. And that seems pretty silly because it was never about the van. I'm going to have to go back on what I said about solar, which for all the videos up until this point, I was very adamant that I was not going to get solar because reference, rain every day, the days are short, it's winter, solar does not charge very fast, and I know that every time someone building a van says that they are not going to get solar panels, that somewhere out there, some free-range vegan's armpit hairs fall out. But I just didn't want it. And now I don't have a choice but to get it, because this conduit line only runs when I have shore power or generator. So if I want to charge like my electronics and not have the generator running, I have to get solar. So you hairy armpit solar loving people, you got me. I'm taking back what I said. I have a list in Amazon for kind of a plug and play kit, because God knows I'm not doing any more wiring. Like, I've had enough. No more wiring. So I'm going to order that, and then I do need some suggestions on how to handle the lights. Yes, it could all be wired again for lights, but like I just said, no more wiring. Like, let's go, let's get on the road. So the questions we still have are whether or not the lights, I should just get the battery powered, the push on, push off, and deal with those, or maybe you have another suggestion, or how I should handle this conduit. I know I could hire. I'm gonna go get some exercise to work off my rage, and please comment with your ideas, because I need some support right now to get this done, because I'm really stressed out. And I hope, again, that anyone who wants to do a van conversion, I am not trying to scare you from doing this. But here's the thing, with any kind of construction project, and this was true when I did my house, whatever a contractor tells you, add 20 to 30% to his cost. And however long you think that a construction project or a renovation project will take you, double it. And that's about accurate. And that's same thing happened in my house, same thing is happening in here. And I just hope that for those of you who are planning for this project, going to start this project, I really don't want you to be discouraged, like I am right now. But this is a reality of any kind of construction project, not side boob, okay? Side boob is to get you to subscribe and like. This is reality, folks. All right, thank you for the comments. I will read them when I get back, and we're just going to push through and get this baby on the road. It is not the end of the world. It is just the end of my prescription of mood stabilizers. So I'll see y'all later.